Hello, and welcome back everybody to another episode of Winning Lifestyles. Today, we're back at it again with another episode to walk you through how to use your Fidelity account, specifically how to sell stocks. Now, I know this entire week in the middle of September has been crazy. It's been a solid red week all week long. And usually that's a good time to say, hey, everything's on sale, it's on discount, let's go buy. But for those of us here who are interested in tax loss harvesting, or maybe you working with like very limited funds, that's okay. Sometimes you got to sell off some stocks that aren't doing so well and put that money towards something else that you know will grow really quick if it rebounds. Like for instance, Facebook about a month ago, man, there was like a week where it just dropped by 10-20%. And then suddenly the next week, boom, skyrocketed back up to where it was at. So it was like, it went from 240 down to about 210. And then it skyrocketed all the way back up. Now it's been consistently trading, or it was last week around 280, 290, and now it's back down to like 250. So you still would have made about $40 a share. So that's where sometimes, selling off some stocks to buy something that's going to go back and rebound almost instantly, well, it might be a good idea for people with very low capital. But anyways, let's dive in here and show you how to access the sell option on Fidelity. Now, there's a lot of different ways to do this. So we're gonna go through the most basic one right here, and that's just using the quick trade ticket. So once again, click on trade, then select the account you wanna trade out of. So for instance, I wanna do it in my Roth. If I'm doing it in my Roth, I don't really care too much about tax loss harvesting, by the way, and that's another topic for another time. But anyways, I'm here in my Roth, and now let's say that I wanna trade out of oil stocks. So for instance, I have some Shell shares, right? Royal Dutch Shell, and it just has not been doing good. I remember I bought this way back in like April or May, and it was like $30 a share, and now it's dropped down, and I want to just, maybe I'll take a little bit of a loss now, but I can put that in something else that will rebound and grow even faster. So instead, what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and click sell, but let's say I don't want to sell all of my shares. I just click on the sell option, right? And then it will update and tell me exactly how many shares I own. So for instance, if I only want to sell 2 shares, I'm going to click 2 there, and then it's my choice again. It's the same deal as before, whether I want to do a market order, limit order, stop loss, stop limit. But to keep it simple today, if you do a market order, that means that when the market opens on the next day, if it's after hours or at that current time in the market, whatever price it's at, it will trade instantly and sell it at that price. So for example, right now it looks like Royal Dutch Shells, this is after hours, it's about $26.33. If this was what we were seeing in like the middle of the trading day, it would sell and you'd get about $26.33 unless there's like a huge pivot all of a sudden. So it might vary a little bit, so be careful about market orders. That's why I like to usually go with limit orders. And let's say I want it to run long term. I want to say, okay, if Shell goes to $30 anytime, if I choose day in force, that means it's going to cancel the same day. But if I want it to last forever, like if Shell hits $30, I'll cash out, I'll take my money right away. Then I'll just switch to good till cancel, and boom, everything's good to go. Right, and then I can set when I want this order to end or expire if it doesn't get filled, or I could do fill or kill, which means, sell both of the shares at the same time or cancel it all together, or immediate or cancel. That means sell it in the instant. If you can't sell it, you can't find a buyer for me, then just cancel the order, right? But, we like to keep it simple here. So just leave it at that, then go down and click preview order, and then boom, you're ready to go. Move on to the next part. Now, let's say you just wanted to sell all of your shares. You can just click sell all, make life easy, and the same features still apply in your trading ticket. So it's not like anything's different. Life is still easy and good. But now let's say you wanted to be strategic, okay? Let's say you were buying different prices for shares of Shell this entire time. So then your average is like low, but there are some shares that are really expensive and some shares that are really cheap. And you want to make your average look good, and you want to capitalize on tax loss harvesting, which is a fancy way of saying sell shares at a loss and then use that loss to write off capital gains. And all that means is that if you sold a bunch of stocks and you made like $5,000, if you sold some that also lost money, instead of actually making $5,000, you might overall make only about $4,000. That means you only have to pay taxes on the $4,000. But all of that is another story, another time. We're just trying to show you the features here, just giving you ideas, giving you seeds so that you can do more research. Please remember that you need to do your own due diligence, okay? We are not financial service advisors here. We're just doing this for funsies and educational purposes so that you can take charge and try and find ways to build wealth. But back to it. Let's say we're trying to sell very specific shares of whatever stock we wanted to buy. Click on specific shares and then you will automatically get taken to this new window. I can see the price of Royal Dutch Shell. I can see the current high and low and the trading volume and all that good stuff. That's extra stuff that once you get really good and you know what's going on, it will help when you're making decisions on whether or not it's a good time to buy or sell a stock. But let's say I want to sell just 2 shares like before, okay? And I'll select my order type. I'm going to go with limit order and we'll just keep it the same as before, $30. And I want it to set for the day. If it doesn't reach $30 that day and I can't sell it, then that's okay. That order just cancels. Just tick that little box that says choose specific shares and you'll get taken to the next screen. And here is where you're going to get a little mini tab of all of the shares that you bought and all the prices you bought it at. So now let's say I wanted to sell my shares that were the most expensive so I can capitalize on the most loss. Like if you can see here, right, I lost $22.64 from these 4 shares of Shell. It hurts, but hey, sometimes you got to sell and lose money to make a lot more, right? So if I said, okay, let's go ahead and sell these 2 specific shares out of the 4 that I own, I'm going to sell them at the price of $31.99. So when you're looking at if this was a taxable brokerage account, in Roth it doesn't really matter too much, but if this was a taxable brokerage account, I'd be able to see, oh, okay, you know, you may have earned a lot of money on these stocks, but here's all the stocks that you lost when you sell. That's the key. If you sell a stock, if you close a position on a stock, right, that's when you start to incur things like capital gains, or if you're getting dividends paid out directly to you instead of letting them drip, that's capital gains taxes that you might have to pay long term. Okay? So keep an eye on that. Talk to an accountant, a financial professional. They'll walk you through what's going on. They'll tell you what's the strategic way to minimize and make it look like even though you might have made $5,000 by like switching out some shares and doing some tax loss harvesting and, you know, buying shares that are essentially the same of different funds and stuff, that you can actually offset the amount of capital gains you have and pay less taxes long term. Again, talk to the accountant. We keep saying this here just because we want you to start thinking about why this would be the case, but do your own due diligence, check out your research. But yeah, let's say I want to sell these 2 specific shares. I'll sell it here. That will make my cost basis, which is a fancy way of saying how much did I pay per share for that lot, that group of stocks. And then when I sell that, I just click preview order. And then we're taken to this page again. I double check that I'm selling it at the price that I want and that the orders are the amount I want. And it will tell me how much money I am going to get from this trade, my estimated commission. And it's going to tell me which lot I'm pulling from. Lot is just telling me which group of stocks I'm going to sell from, right? So I want to sell the 2 shares that were $31.99. And I got these on April just to make sure everything's right. And then you just scroll down, click place order, and bada bing, bada boom. You are done and everything's good to go. And there you have it, folks. That is a few different ways that you can sell stocks on your Fidelity account. Now, keep in mind, this works whether you're talking about your brokerage account or your Roth IRA accounts or any IRA accounts, 457Bs, whatever, as long as you're managing it. It works for all of them. The steps are the same. Just keep in mind about the different implications that you're going to be doing for tax purposes. And please remember one more time that we at Winning Lifestyles are not financial service advisors. We're just here doing this for funsies and for educational purposes, and that you need to go out and do your own due diligence and talk to professionals, tax professionals, financial professionals. You know, go and chat with them and they will walk you through and help you figure out the best route. With that being said, thank you so much for checking us out here at Winning Lifestyles. We really do appreciate your support. Smash that like button if you liked our videos so that helps with the YouTube algorithm. And if you really liked our content, hit subscribe, ring that notification bell, and we are looking forward to the next video to spread awareness about different ways to build wealth. Our goal here is to show you that it's not as hard as most people make it think, and that we can all build wealth together. Thanks again, and until next time.